Hi, everybody. Let's try this again now. It's me. Are you there? Sorry about that. Okay, good. There's some people. All right, good. Welcome, Carolyn. All right. And I'm sure there's others. 13. Good. You're coming. Okay, great. Martin is watching. All right, Martin. Great. David, thank you. Says better. All right. And, well, good. So people there we go. Hello, Clem. Yes, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was, I don't know what happened. Tapped the screen and it just, everything went all over. All right, says Kaylee. And Patty, yes. Great. Christian, this is great. Come on in, everybody. Debbie, I'm at the airport. I'll explain in a minute. I'm in Atlanta. That is not my plane. That would be nice if we took that big plane to Pensacola, but we're going to take that little one there in about 3 hours. Whew, it's going to be a late nighter. And let's hope. Doesn't look so healthy. I don't know what that thing is hanging down there, but I hope they're going to fly in 3 hours. If not, I'll be spending my Thursday night right here in this gate somewhere. I'm going to look for a place to sleep, but hopefully it's flying. But anyway, okay, great. Wait for a few more people to get on here. Come on in. Meanwhile, I'll give you something better to look at. Everyone's looking at me, but that's okay. I'm used to that. I'm a priest. Here's my, look at that. All right, Pensacola. So 10:58. That's Eastern time, and then it arrives about 10:58 Central time. So it's about an hour. So this is my life. And I forgot to, get a ride back from the airport. So hopefully I'm going to get a taxi or an Uber or something like that. Or I can walk. It's not that far, actually, to the house from the airport. But anyway, okay, great. Let's see. We got enough people. We got a lot of people are watching. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so got a couple things. I wrote down a little list as I was coming down into Atlanta here. I just flew from Boston to Atlanta. All right, I didn't really fly. I was on the plane, but they flew me here. I'll explain. So last week, if you followed me, you saw that I was in Ireland. I did the Facebook Live from Ireland with my brother. That was really fun. Sorry that it wasn't at the normal live time, but for you who watched, and a lot of people watched, that was great. You saw that I just arrived a day before, and was really enjoying my time there. I had a great rest of the week. I was there for about 7 days on the ground in Ireland, and so we had just really, really good time visiting people, especially, and then also seeing some things like castles, just ruins of castles there. And, we'd see it and we'd pull over and walk around in the midst of all that. It's 1,000 years old. Great. And then churches and pubs. Yes, we did. We saw our share of pubs. I mean, that's kind of normal. When in Rome, when in Ireland, you go to pubs. So we did that for some meals and some Guinnesses. I drank a lot of Guinnesses. But anyway, sorry, I was distracted here. Someone said if I have to stay the night here, Russell said that. Find the concourse with the children's playground area. They have nice play dome, swings, slides. Easier to sleep on the mats than the hard floor. Thank you, Russell. That may come in handy if I have to sleep here tonight. Anyway, I digress. I did have a really great time. Some of the highlights were after I talked to you, after I did the live last week, were, well, I think the biggest one was going to Knock, where there was an appearance of Mary, Joseph, John, and a lamb that appeared to several of the villagers. I think it was about 20 some of them in the late 1800s. And it was just it was a silent apparition, but it was very comforting for the people of that time, and has been, that God is with us. That came at a particularly difficult time in the history of Ireland, and it gave people great comfort, and still does. It draws millions of people every year, certainly tens of millions. But we were able to be there, and it's great. Have a nice visit, pray there and everything, and celebrate Mass there and anoint people and everything. I got to go to confession there, which was really great, to some poor priest who had no idea until I walked in, and I just said, "Hi, I'm a bishop. I want to go to confession." poor guy. I think he was relatively newly ordained. He got really nervous and he said, "Wait, you're a bishop? You're coming to me?" I'm like, "Yeah. I need to go to confession." "Are you a priest?" "Yes, I am." He said. So anyway, that was great to be able to go to the confession there. But it's just really neat to go there. Um, and then when we went to, here comes people. They're going to kick me out of here. But yep, no, I don't work here. I don't work here. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, after that, we went to the place where uh, Father Patrick Peyton was born. That's way up in the northwest in Edimus. Father Patrick Peyton is known as the Rosary Priest. Um, he's the one who coined the term, "The family that prays together stays together." He was a Holy Cross priest, so a brother of mine, Holy Cross. And so it's neat to see where he was born, where he was baptized, and where he was raised and everything. There he just grew in his devotion to Mary through the family rosary and everything. And then from there he launched just onto the world stage, and he would do huge speeches, big gatherings of people. He spoke and prayed with 1 million people at one time in the Philippines, and hundreds of thousands of folks all over the world, in countries and cities all over the world. So that was really a neat thing for us to do, to make a pilgrimage to his hometown and everything, and see that. And then after that, we kind of just made our way back to Dublin and stopped at a place where there was a cathedral, and we had no idea, if anyone would be there or anything. We walked into the cathedral and it looked really beautiful. We found out they had a devastating fire Christmas Eve after midnight mass. I think it was 2008. Devastating fire. The furnace caught something on fire, and the whole place went up in 4 hours. This massive cathedral. Everything except the stone structure that is the building itself. Everything was destroyed. The roof was burnt and fell down on all the pews. That burned. Everything was burned. So that night, Christmas Eve night, hello there, lady. It's my flight attendants. But anyway, they're wondering why I'm standing here at the counter. Anyway, I gotta move. So anyway, that night, the bishop said, "We will build again. We're going to build again," and they did. In 5 years, they built a magnificent cathedral there, where there it was just a shell of the building. So it was really neat. And then we thought, well, let's go see if the bishop's here. I'm a bishop. I can go say hi to him. We went over to the rectory and rang the bell. Well, the bishop himself is not there. He's being assigned to another diocese, but the auxiliary emeritus was there, and 3 other priests, and they just said, "Come on in." So they had us in for tea and scones. That happened wherever we went, and just had a delightful visit with them. And here's something that's really interesting. We found this whenever we talk to folks in Ireland. There's a great deal of sadness and I wouldn't say hopelessness, but despair, I think, because of the state of the religion there, the faith. It's so fewer and fewer people are going to church, and they have fewer and fewer priests. In some places, and this place where we were, they said they have no seminarians right now, or 1 or 2. And so they're really distraught over that. And I almost felt bad, because he said, "Well, how about your diocese? Do you have any seminarians?" And I said, "Yeah, well, we're a small diocese, but yeah, we're blessed. We have 20 guys. He said, 20 guys? That's amazing. We have 0 right now. Not just 0 ordinations, but 0 in the seminary." So my brother and I found ourselves, kind of comforting them, saying, we went through this in the U.S., and we're coming out of it slowly. We're getting more vocations now than we have in decades. So we really hope that that will happen here, and just kind of gave them that hope, and they said, "We do as well. We believe. We have a lot of hope." Ireland, they're the ones who would send priests to all over the West, all over the world, especially in the West. They helped to really build up the church in Florida, in the South, in Texas, in Louisiana, by sending over hundreds and hundreds of priests, and now they don't have really any coming up the ranks. So pray for them, pray for the church in Ireland and other places, that there will be a renaissance, a resurrection, if you will, and more young men will step up to be priests, and the faithful will kind of take hold of the faith again and come back and celebrate their faith. Okay, great. And then after that, we ended up in Dublin for the last day and a half, and that was good. We just kind of walked around and saw some sights, more churches and more things. We tried to see the Book of Kells, but at Trinity College, but we didn't have tickets. The line was way too long. That would have been neat to see that. But we did see some, yeah, a lot of sights. And then the last day, we thought, hey, we're here in Dublin. Why not? We got a tour of the Guinness factory. I think that's what they call it. They don't call it a brewery, but the factory. And that was kind of neat to see how Guinness is made. And I mean, we didn't want to, but it was part of our ticket. They gave us free Guinness at the end. So it was kind of a theme for our trip. But anyway, it really tasted good. It was just brewed in the same building, and then we enjoyed it that same day. Yummy. And then flying home was fine, easy, no problem. I spent last night and today in Boston, outside of Boston at Stonehill College, visiting my brother Neil, who's the superior there, and going to a funeral for a Holy Cross priest, which was really neat. It's the first community funeral I've been able to go to since I became a bishop. And then just flew here to Atlanta, and then in 3 hours I'll fly to Pensacola. So that's great. But just a really great trip. It's nice to get away. I feel really re-energized and ready to go back to work and everything. So great. So a couple other little things that I wrote down. Jan, the one who's been the executive assistant to the bishop and the chancellor in our diocese for several years, she retired. So before I left for Ireland, that was her last day. And now Vicki Hughes has begun. She was here this week, even though I wasn't in the office. And so I'll go back tomorrow, and that'll be our first day together. She'll be the executive assistant for me and for the chancellor right now. So that's exciting. So her name is Vicki. Jan was, I think I mentioned this before, she was so loved by the priests and the people of the diocese because she was so good on the phone helping people. And I know Vicki will do the same. She is awesome. I'm really pleased to work with her. And then that's pretty much all that's going on right now. So again, for those of you who joined late, Martin's telling me about more whiskey tours and everything. I better not talk about whiskey tours anymore or Guinness. I won't do that anymore. But hey, what the heck? When in Rome, right? Those of you who joined late, I'm here at the airport in Atlanta, right at the end of Terminal A. I'm in A1, all the way at the end. Waiting to get on that plane in a couple of hours to go to Pensacola, hopefully. And finally, I'll be back home tonight, 11 o'clock, and ready to work tomorrow morning. Great. I think that's what I want to share with you. Oh, no, this is fun too. A couple other quick things from the trip. While we were there in Ireland, our hosts asked us to go to, he said, would you mind going to visit this family? They have 8 children, and they're all in their 20s. One of them is turning 30 today. And they're a lovely family. They were very involved in the church. All the kids, played music and served and all of that in the church. Would you mind just going over just to meet them? I think they'd love to meet you. So sure. So they drove us over to this house. And the couple came out of the house, and he introduced us. And I reached out the car window, like, good to meet you, shook their hands. And they said, well, come on in. You got to come in for just a minute. Okay, fine. Well, as you can imagine, it wasn't more than a minute. It was a half hour. While we were there, they gave us food. The kids brought out a flute, penny whistle, guitar. They started to sing. It's like a little concert right there. And it's just a really neat evening there with this family. And then afterwards, they walked us out to the car, and we didn't think a lot about it, but it was really neat. And they just said, we will remember this evening for the rest of our lives. They said to have a bishop and a priest come into our house and have a meal with us and just talk to us about the faith and encourage us, that just, we'll remember it for the rest of our lives. And I thought, wow, what a neat thing. It was so simple, but it was a great thing to be able to do. This is what I hope to do with my ministry, is just to make it accessible to people. Certainly this is what our Holy Father Francis wants us to do, to go into people's homes. This is what Jesus told the disciples, to go into people's homes and bring my peace with you, and it will remain in that family and with that home. So it's really neat to be able to do that. And then the other tidbit I forgot I was going to share with you something. Oh, at the end of last week's Facebook Live, if you remember, there was a truck that drove by, just random, but filled with manure. And I thought, okay, great, I wonder where they're going. Well, I went to another Mass a couple days later, And a woman came up and she said, I watched you on Facebook Live. So hello to you in Ireland who are watching. She said, I watched your live a couple nights ago, and that was my cousin driving that truck. She said, my cousin, he was taking manure to his field. So anyway, this is just kind of funny. I just mentioned it, but it's a random thing. Oh, look, there goes a truck. And then a couple days later, a woman said that was her cousin in Ireland. So thanks to all who join us for these. It's kind of, the world gets smaller. We all kind of become a little closer just even by participating, by watching something like this. So I'm glad you're with me, and thank you for your prayers. That was a great retreat, great vacation. I'm excited to go home on that plane in a couple of hours, um, if all goes well. And I will see you next week, God willing, on the same channel, the same thing. Anyway, I'm having trouble wrapping this up. Hello, ladies, because they're really loud right here. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, God bless you all. I'll say a prayer here. I guess I'll bless everyone here. Hello, ladies. I just made eye contact with them. Okay, they're right here. Okay, let's just pray. Oh, good and gracious God, continue to bless your people. Bless all of us who are in need. Bless those whom we love and we know who are sick and suffering in any way. Um, Give them what they need especially. Bless everyone. Fill us with peace and the assurance that you are with us and that you love us very much. May Almighty God bless you all, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, God bless you. I'll talk to you next week.